kind of one can say generic content creation for, let's say, for social media, but we'll be talking about formal content generation with respect to our classroom teaching. So mainly we will be talking about how we can utilize power of AI tools and in general LLMs for generation of lecture notes, presentations, curriculum, and of course study material, right? So that is our objective. So now, what I'm going to do, I will follow kind of like Sir has already mentioned. First, of course, I will be starting with some demos. In between, I will talk about generic frameworks, right? Good, one can say, what should be the formal way of writing good prompts so that we can generate all of this very nicely. And then afterwards, also, once again, we will see some more tools to ensure that we get what we need or what we want, right? So that's the idea. And in between, you are encouraged to ask questions via chat. And once I complete one particular subunit, I will also kind of give you some time for reflection and questions in case if you have any, right? So what I'm going to do, I will be starting from latest development. I guess 2 weeks back, Google Classroom has added one new functionality, right? So now they are allowing a kind of integration with Gemini, right? We don't need to kind of go to a particular different, one can say, window. In case if we are interested in utilizing the power of Gemini, we can do so by staying in the classroom window itself, right? So that's the idea of it. So let's start with that first, right? So basically, if we are going to utilize power of AI tools, then roughly one can say that we are going to save at least 5 hours in a week, right? So this is on lower side. Of course, if we use AI intelligently, then we'll be able to save even more than this amount of one can say time. So the idea is instead of talking more in terms of one can say theory, I should of course demonstrate this to you directly. But before I start this, right, usually whenever this kind of one can say LLMs or kind of integration with the tools are there, people usually kind of worry because they are worried about with respect to security aspect, right? So if I talk about with respect to Gemini for education, then as you can see over here, the content is kind of being protected, right? So it's not like that they are going to utilize whatever we are going to interact with Gemini, especially within the classroom setup. They are not going to use it for AI training, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to highlight, that whatever we are going to do, it won't be utilized for training. It will be kind of secured. It will remain with us, right? So that's first thing. And of course, opportunities are immense. As you can see, we'll be able to see how we can draft lecture plans or quizzes and rubrics and so on and so forth with the help of course, Gemini in Classroom. And as you can see, security, I have highlighted one more time over here. The data is private and it's not going to be reviewed by human AI engineers. And it won't be used for training AI models, of course. And since it is kind of trained for classroom setup, the filters have been already applied, right? So it won't generate something which is inappropriate, right? So if you are saying that generate this for, let's say, class 10 standard or maybe class 5 standard or maybe kindergarten students, and depending upon that, the examples will vary and the content will be kind of age appropriate. We don't have to kind of fine tune it too much as compared to other tools, right? And of course, we will be able to appreciate this more once we see this in action. But this is just some basic stuff which I wanted to highlight before we start, right? So, of course, the key idea is the more details we give, the more better the outcome will be in the context of any LLMs, not just with respect to our Google Classroom. So this is the important thing, right? So we must be as explicit as possible whenever we talk about any of the tools or whenever we use any of the tools. And this is like whatever we are imagining, right? So let's say I know that what should be there in my lecture plan or which type of questions must be there in my quiz. I know somehow subconsciously in my mind. But most of the times we assume that AI will magically know that what we are thinking, but that's not going to happen. We need to explicitly mention what we need in English, simple English statements, and then the result will vary, right? So the idea is the models, the tools, all of these are kind of accessible to everyone. So the differentiating factor will be how we are going to write our request, how we are going to form our prompt, right? So depending upon that, the outcome will vary. Therefore it's very much important that we give as much details as possible with respect to context of the problem. And the next thing is, right, if I just focus over here, that with respect to, I'm going to start with lesson plan, of course, that because that's the first focus of our talk today. So how are we going to generate lesson plan with the help of this tool? So the idea is, first we will, of course, choose our topic as well as grade, right, for which students we are going to talk about this particular topic, whether they are students of standard 5 or whether they are university students. Depending upon that, it will fine tune. Of course, once we mention the topic, it will generate objectives. We can define these objectives if we don't like, and then we can describe some specific details with respect to our class also. And then the one can say the material, or in this particular case, lesson plan will be more aligned towards our class, because there can be millions of classrooms worldwide. But what's the uniqueness of our class, right? What's their geographical background or language barrier, or what are their hobbies or interests? If we mention those things, then the lesson plan will be more aligned towards our audience, right? So that's the core idea of this. So let me now demonstrate this to you so that you can appreciate. So the link, I'm sharing the link of this particular tool in the chat box also, so that you can kind of do this with me if you want, and otherwise you can do this afterwards also, right? You can just save this particular link and kind of play with it afterwards, right? How it works. But let me just for now share this in the link in the chat box, right? And this is if you are using your, so ensure that you are using your educational account, right? So whatever institute you are associating with it, if you are using your institute ID, then most likely this link will work, right? This won't work for your personal ID, because this feature is only for Google Education Workplace. Right. So in case if it doesn't work with respect to your institutional ID, then you should contact to your corresponding digital infra team at your institute, right? But if most, I feel that 80 to 90% of the people or from the audience will be able to access this for sure. Okay, fine. Anyways, let me continue. So as you can see over here, there are many options right over here. I'm going to kind of go with the very first option, outline a lesson plan. I am going to teach a particular lesson, and I would like to have some outline for it, right? Some plan for it. So I request from the audience to write some topic with respect to this particular uh, lesson plan. What topic you would like me to generate a lesson plan? If you can suggest something, maybe couple of topics. If you can suggest, I will pick one of them and then we'll start. So you can see that we have to mention two things from if we are starting from scratch. Then we have to mention our target grade. Target grade means for whom we are going to create this particular lesson plan, right? So I can say that so I'm going to go with it's a lesson plan, right? So it should not be very generic, right? If you, I will appreciate if you write something specific. So what I'm going to do for the first one, I'm doing for my particular topic, let's say, and then I will pick one of your topic in the subsequent kind of demonstration. So what I'm going to do, let's say target is, let's say I will just say university students or maybe UG students. I can just say UG first year students, let's say. Uh, Template, right? So you can see there are options with respect to template. One is general and second one is 5e. For now, I'm going with general. And now I have to talk about what topic I would like to teach, right? So for example, I would like to teach them, let's say, RSA algorithm, right? RSA is a famous algorithm with respect to cryptography, right? So this is one topic from computer science. We can take something simpler also. Like for example, I can also talk about, let's say, GCD, right? Greatest common algorithms for greatest common divisor, right? GCD, right? We can start with something simpler. Let's say algorithms for GCD, right? This is nothing but greatest common divisor. Okay. And then this much is not sufficient. Of course, I would also like to kind of include some applications of it. So I will just say applications of GCD in computer science, let's say. And apart from that, I would also like to have, let's say, GCD LCM theorem. I would also like to discuss this particular theorem. Let's say this is what I am going to discuss in my. I would like to cover in one particular unit. And ideally, I should also include something from my drive, right? Because then only it will be more personalized, right? So if I can upload something from my lecture notes, then it will get even more context. So ideally, we should do this. But here, for saving time, I am just avoiding it. So then I will click on this generate objectives button, right? So then you will be able to see soon objectives are kind of generated. We can go through them, right? Whether they are making sense or not. So I didn't mention which algorithm we are going to talk about, but it has identified that Eulerian algorithm and binary GCD algorithm, right? So it has it is saying that students will be able to explain and apply at least two different algorithms for GCD. Students will be able to describe and illustrate at least two applications of GCD in the domain of this. If I want, I can also include some more objectives. So I can say how GCD, right? How GCD is useful in, let's say, RSA algorithm. This I am adding, right? This was not generated by AI, but I feel that this must be also taught. So I have added this. And then I can describe. So this is also very much important, right? I must describe my class, right? And their learning needs and their interests. So then the lesson plan will be more kind of, one can say, personalized, and then we'll be able to follow it very nicely. So I can just say first year students, right? They like hobbies. I can just mention a couple of hobbies of them. They like Instagram, right? Uh, and they also like cricket. And I can just say that background, they have just basic understandings of, let's say, that basics of, I can say, mathematics. I can be more concrete also, right? I can mention some topics that which they are already familiar. Like I can say the related topics which they know. Let's say sets they know and functions they know, correct? Let's say. Okay, so I am giving some kind of in, description of my class so that whatever kind of being generated, it remains aligned with my classroom. So now I'm clicking on generate lesson plan. So soon you will be able to see that it will generate a nice lesson plan for sure. And why I'm starting with this particular tool, because this is the one can say easiest tool to start with, right? Because in other tools we have to write prompt and all. Here we just need to kind of navigate through this kind of simple form, and then it will be able to generate nice kind of. You can see that first we will go through that what are the subsections of this particular lesson plan, and then we will kind of go into individual subsection. So first it's giving overview, that is fine. Material needed, this is also something interesting, right? So what all materials will be required with respect to teachers, what do we need, right? So you can't explain GCD without markers or pen or without whiteboard or projectors, right? So those are the things which are required. Then the most interesting thing about this, I feel, is common misconceptions. So they will automatically, this AI tool will tell us that what are the common misconception about this particular topic, right? So you can see misconception one, two, three. Most of the times, students confuse GCD with LCM. So how we are going to eliminate this misconception? Students might think only way to find GCD is listing all factors, right? So, and we have to highlight that why this is inefficient for larger numbers, right? So this is also this will kind of encourage us to kind of kill the misconceptions in the classroom before we start the topic itself, right? So we can motivate them by providing resolution of some of this misconception even before explaining the topic formally in depth, right? So that's how this can be of very much help. Students may not see the relevance of GCD beyond basic number theory. This is very much important. Therefore, it's important to highlight applications like RSA, which I already mentioned in the objective, if you can recall. And then, as you can see, this is the activities will be kind of generated based on kind of the assumption which this particular tool will make with respect to understanding of the students, right? So likewise, it will generate some kind of activity so that students can even feel more aligned towards this particular topic, right? So you can see students will explore the concept of GCD through examples and then be introduced and apply Euclidean algorithm as an efficient method of finding it, right? So now it's giving me step by step instruction how should I guide this particular activity, right? So I can present some numbers, then ask students individually, right? Their factors. Then in the step 2, I can introduce this. Step 3, I can do this. Step 4, I can do this, right? And again, it's also giving me potential misconception and how to resolve it. And what's the differentiation factor. The second, as you can see, in activity 2, we are going to kind of introduce both the algorithms, and it's also connecting the idea of GCD with LCM, right? How it's how they are related. And then activity 3, right? So that is corresponding to RSA, right? So how whatever we have learned, it's applicable to with respect to RSA algorithm. So this is kind of the entire plan of before you teach this particular topic to your student. This is kind of nicely summarizing, right, all the requirements, common misconceptions, and how to handle them, right, which is very much important, right? And it's also planning activity or maybe phases using which we can deliver this particular topic to our students, right? So this will save a lot of time of ours, right? So as you can see, ticket, which means assessment. Let's say you have taught this particular topic in, let's say, around 40 minutes, and still you have 20 minutes of time. So now, ideally, you should evaluate, right, whether students have understood this particular topic properly or not. So what type of questions you can ask to your students, right? So that is kind of written over here towards the end of the class. But let's say I didn't like this activity particularly. So then what I can do, I can just click on this particular button, right? That provide 3 alternative activities for this lesson. So then it will generate 3 alternative activities for the same. So hopefully you are seeing this for the very first time. You can just give some maybe you can just write in the chat box or maybe give some kind of expression with respect to emojis so that I know that you are with me. So as you can see now, it is giving me some different kind of activities again for the same problem, but with respect to as you can see, decoding the message, right? It's a very interesting activity with respect to cryptography and how GCD is useful to that particular problem, as you can see, right? Fine. And the important thing is, of course, I can click on this particular button, which is overlapping squares, and I can easily kind of copy this wherever I want. And there is also one option of export. So if I click on export, then of course I will get this particular option of export to docs. So it will be automatically stored in my Google Docs, and then I will be able to refer it afterwards also, right? So, so integration is very good with respect to this particular tool. So, therefore, it's very easy that whatever we are going to generate, it will remain with us, right? Like this in our Google Docs, and so that we can revisit whenever it's required. So, as you can see, right? Fine. So now I will go with one of your topic, right? So maybe I can go back. So link I already shared with you. So let me try with one more topic, and you have to maybe give me some more details. So again, this is all of you are suggesting topics, but these are very generic, right? We are talking about one lesson plan. This is not we are preparing kind of, one can say, curriculum, right? I will also talk about curriculum, but for now, our focus is on particular topic. Let's imagine that you are going to teach a particular topic in the class. So what topic it can be, right? And just mention that particular topic. So then we can see this. Maybe I can go with cell biology. Okay, so that is slightly specific. Uh, Maybe Dr. Uttam can mention more about it. I'm assuming, let's say, the target audience is standard, let's say 12. Okay. Template is general, and in cell biology, I'm not much aware, but I'm just mentioning the name of the topic and all the corresponding details and how human body depends upon this biology, or in some sense, what are the uh, implications that I can say, right? So I have to give some kind of details, right? And you can see that what knowledge we would like to give to this particular with respect to this particular topic. All those things I must mention, right? So currently I'm just writing like this. Let's see. So again, if I click on this objectives, so then it will generate objectives aligned with this particular topic, and I won't be able to modify this much because this is not my domain, but still we can see what it's going to give us, because this is different. This is biology, right? So as you can see, it has generated this objectives, and then we can describe something about our class, right? So let's say we can say that they are they are beginners, right? I can just mention like in the field of biology. Assume they know nothing about it. Let's assume that students are like me, they don't know anything about it. Let's assume about cell biology particularly. Okay, let's see. And then we'll be able to see the outcome. But the idea is the more details you provide, right? So ideally, if you can provide your lecture notes, or maybe your material which you had created earlier, or maybe just image of your drawing which you have put in the which you had drawn in the classroom over here. So then it will get even more kind of context, and then it will be able to generate even better, right? But let's see what it generates in this particular case. So in between, if you have any questions, you can of course ask. This is the first thing we are seeing anyways, but soon I will showcase you a lot more. So as you can see, the template is similar, right? Still, it's starting with this misconceptions, and it's also giving us strategies, right? How we are going to kind of how we can address this misconceptions nicely, right? So you can read over here, right? So first misconception, second misconception, third misconception, right? And then again activities, how we can kind of uh, so I guess Dr. Uttam can guide us whether this makes sense or not. But to me, it seems sensible. Okay. So again, activity two, activity three, right? Like that. So usually it provides us the activity, and of course the exit ticket, right? Towards the end of the class, how and what they are going to means how we can kind of check whether they have understood this particular topic properly or not. So that is there. Okay, fine. So now we can talk about other features, right? So this is fine. We can generate nice lecture plan. So this will be helpful whenever you are teaching something for the very first time, especially, right? Or even if you are experienced, but you would like to kind of come up with some different strategies to kind of teach the underlying concept more effectively. The next interesting and big breakthrough, one can say, is with respect to quizzes. So, for example, so I will uh, uh, So of course you have to use Dr. Pooja. I have already mentioned about this. This won't work in your personal ID. This is a feature of Google Classroom for education, right? So that means you must use your institute ID. And if in case it doesn't work with respect to your institute ID, then you have to contact to your infra team. But most likely it should work. Right? So let's say my target grade is UG students. Again, number of questions which I would like to generate, say let's say 10. Topic is, let's say I am teaching, let's say, Python programming, and in Python programming I will be talking about, let's say, for loops. Okay, for loop, I can say while loop, break, continue, just name of the topic, right? What topics I would like to kind of check with respect to assessment of my students. So I'm just mentioning some topics of Python programming and some built-in functions, let's say. Right? So let's say these are the topics. And then I can, of course, generate learning objectives just the way I was generating in the case of uh, right, our first kind of use case where we had generated lesson plus. So here also the learning objectives are there. But I feel that these objectives are anyway quite exhaustive, and they are going to cover all the requirements of mine. So I'm not kind of modifying them. And then you can see I'm getting four different options. So I am going with, let's say, this first option of multiple choice, and then I will click on generate question. So the first part is obvious that it's going to generate nice question, but you can see the level of kind of integration is there. First, it's asking whom you are asking this question. If students are of standard 6, then question will be different. If students are of standard 12, then questions will be different. So that's the first level of one can say differentiation. Then it's also asking for topics. So that means we should be mentioning the topics which we on the basis of which we would like to kind of evaluate our students. So that is one more level. And then we can also define the objectives. So objectives will tell us what these questions are going to assess or what they are trying to kind of evaluate, right? So we can modify that also according to as per our needs, right? So most of the times we have to follow some kind of evaluation mechanism, right? So or Bloom's taxonomy, right? So we can follow, we can mention that we would like to generate questions like this. So of course you can see the questions are there, and the questions are, of course, they make sense, right? So this one is of course correct. What needs to be true in the case of while loop, right? So of course a certain condition needs to be true, then only it will continue running, and then so on and so forth. But you will be surprised with one particular button which will come afterwards. If I click over here, export, so you can see now there is one nice option which is export to forms. So that means in classroom usually we create this kind of Google Forms with our hand, right? So with typing, with number of clicks and so on and so forth, and it takes a lot of time, right? Let's say even though questions are ready, but if you want to make a simple form, then it will take at least 15 to 20 minutes. But here it will be generated within 15 seconds, right? If I just click on this particular button, soon you will be able to see one particular form where all the questions along with their correct answers will be mentioned, will be kind of noted in the Google form, and I can directly share this particular Google form with my students for the evaluation purpose. You can see how smooth it is, right? So I feel that this is one of the greatest, one can say, leap in with respect to assessment with this integration. As you can see, right? The entire quiz is ready with respect to our form, and I can just share this form with my students, and they will be able to kind of appear for this particular quiz. Of course, I can modify this, right? I can modify this particular title and all. I can add some description. I can format this, right? Those all, if I want, I can add some other questions also. But you can see, and of course, I did this in one iteration. But in the first iteration itself, I could ask for more questions, and then those questions will be automatically kind of added just by one click in this particular Google form, right? So that's how That's the power of this particular second option, which we have seen, that how we can generate quizzes, and not just generation, how we are going to integrate it with our classroom. Because now I can share this Google form with our students, right, directly, right? So that is there. You can see the third option is this one also, add to class. I can also add this to class, right? So so hopefully you are able to appreciate this. Any questions up to this point, or any feedback, you can just write in the chat box, and or maybe you can unmute so that I can also know that if you have any specific queries with respect to whatever we are seeing so far. Uh, okay, no comments so far. I will wait for one more, maybe 30 seconds more, in case if you want to say something. Okay, some reactions I'm getting, but okay, fine. So no queries, good. Okay, fine, no issues. But what I recommend, you try this, right? If you do this, then only you will be able to appreciate it. Okay, next important thing. So if we also kind of go with kind of consider this with respect to our slides, then we have talked about this particular thing so far, that how we can kind of generate a lesson plan, and how we can generate our kind of quizzes, right? So as you can see, all these things we have seen, right? It will generate engaging activities and hooks, right? Differentiation and assessment and exit tickets, right? Right. Now we are going to talk about something very important, right? So many times we feel that that some kind of article, let's say I have read one particular article. So let me just search for one interesting article. Let's say I'm just going to Google, and I'm just saying how LLM works, like blog, right? That's it. Okay. And like this, the first one seems fine because it has 4.8K plus likes. So that means it's highly popular, right? People are appreciating it. So let's say I like this particular blog. Okay, I have read this particular blog, assume that, and I feel that this is my students will be able to appreciate this if they read this. But the problem is my students don't know this technical words, right? For them, this is quite heavy, right? Because my students are, let's say, I'm teaching students of standard 6, but this blog requires knowledge of, let's say, at least some university level, one can say. Let's say someone from, let's say, computer science background, and let's say in first or second year of computer science, then only he or she will be able to understand this. So because of heavy language, right? Some words are there which are not, uh, one can say, familiar with respect to my students. So what I can do, I can use this third, okay, sorry for this. I can use this third functionality over here, which is called re-level text. So if I click on it, then what it will do, as you can see, there are two options over here. Either I can make it simpler, and I can also set some target. Like, let's say I would like to convert this text for, let's say, standard of let's say, equivalent of one can say familiarity of uh, some generic student of standard 5, right? So if I use this, if I go with this particular setup, then whatever I am going to add over here, it will be converted into kind of one can say, okay, so one query is there, how can we add Gemini in our Google Classroom? So you don't need to add, it's a default feature. And what I feel that sooner or later it will be kind of given to, very likely, to most of the educators. So if you go to your education account, right? So whatever institute that you are associated with it. So for example, I'm associated with MNIT. So in my MNIT IDs, if you notice the ID over here, then it's mahipaljadeja.cac@mnit.ac.in. It's not @gmail.com. So similarly, whatever institute you where you are working, if you use that particular Google account to log in, then you will be able to see this particular option most likely, right? As per my experience, roughly 8 out of 10 will be able to get this access if you are having this university account. Okay, and if not, then you can just contact to your digital infra team, and they will do the necessary changes, and soon you will be able to see that particular option. Okay. Meanwhile, if I just let me just try to demonstrate this. What I'm going to do now, let me just go to some sensible part of this. Let's say these definitions are important. So what I'm going to do now, let's say I will just copy this definition over here. Okay. And still it can support in one go 9,000 words. So that means whatever I have copied, more than 9 times to that I can add. So let me add a couple of more paragraphs just to see how good it works. Okay, so let me skip these things. These are not required. Okay, so let me, okay, from here I can again continue because it's talking about training and all. Okay, so let me copy these 4 paragraphs. Okay, so now I'm adding those over here. Okay, this is not required because about image. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do, it's also keywords to keep in the generated text. So I can even mention that some of the keywords are extremely important. For example, I can't change AI. AI will remain as it is, right? So I can say AI. Uh, uh, I can also mention artificial intelligence, right? Okay. Artificial. Then I can mention ML. I can mention machine, right? Machine learning, correct? So then I can mention deep learning, right? So some keywords I have mentioned, which unfortunately it's not taking space. So therefore I have to break like this, deep learning. Okay. Similarly, machine learning is anyway there, right? So let's say I ensured that these are some of the keywords which must remain as it is. For example, training is one phase which should remain as it is. Testing is one phase which should remain as it is. So similarly, depending upon your text, you can kind of decide, right, which are the keywords which must remain as it is. Okay. And now if I click on generate, then it will translate this, not actually translate, but convert it into the language. We are not changing. Language will remain as it is, but it will be easier for my class fifth student to understand this particular topic. And you can see that what it is changing in this particular color, green color, right? You can see it's using some simpler words so that students can appreciate this, right, very easily. Okay. And this was kind of, one can say, slightly heavy example, but imagine you are having some simpler text, then you will be able to see the impact even, uh, one can say, even on large scale, right? But still, this is very easy to see that making changes which are kind of sensible, right? If we even if we go through the first definition, AI is a very broad term, but generally it deals with intelligent machine, right? So you can see it's simplifying. It's mostly about machine that can think like people, right? Because intelligent machine, this term is familiar to someone who is let's say student in first year BTech, but this term is not familiar to someone who is in school, let's say in standard 5 or 6. So AI has simplified it, and then it's giving equivalent definition. What should intelligent machine mean? So it's nothing but machines that can think like people. Right, so it's intelligently changing those words which may be unfamiliar to my audience, and hopefully you are appreciating this, that how good this kind of conversion is. And then all you need to do is, again, you can click on this overlapping rectangle, and then the text will be copied and you can share it with your student, right, so that they can appreciate it, right? So this is one nice use case where we are taking care of our audience, that let's say, and you can see this export to docs, that option is also there. And directly we can add this to class. Like for example, if I click on this particular button, then I can just select one particular class right? So let's say, right, I have many class, I can pick, right, the class which I want, and then I can just uh, say that this is some material, just go through it, right? So it's very easy. So the biggest advantage of this, one can say, integration is you don't need to go here and there, because if you are using any other tool, then you have to do this control C, control V. But here you just need to click this particular button, right? You can just click add to, because ultimately whatever you are doing, right? This entire section is we are focused on generating stuff for our students, material or lecture notes or some kind of ways so that they can understand the concepts very easily. So whatever we are generating, if we can't share it with students, then it's useless, right? So this is kind of very effortless, because all we need to do is we need to click on these buttons, and then automatically it will be shared with our students. Okay, fine. So if we go to again the options, what other things this can do, let's explore. So one more important thing is, as you can see, create a rubric, right? So many times we kind of create assignment, but we feel we don't have much time for generation of rubrics. I hope all of you know what rubric means. Rubric means, let's say, assessment criteria. Let's say you have generated one assignment, but if you don't share how are you going to kind of evaluate the assignment, then students won't be able to kind of connect with the assignment, right? Because they don't know how what is expected, right? So that then the entire purpose will be kind of lost. So we have to explicitly mention what are our expectations with respect to underlying assignment, right? So let me try to demonstrate this. Let's say create a rubric. So basically, again, let me just go with standard 12, let's say, and performance level. Let's I will explain what this performance level means. For now, I'm going with performance level 4, let's say, and I can also upload this from Drive. So maybe let me try that if I have something sensible with respect to assignment. Otherwise, I can just write couple of questions and just say that kind of this is my assignment. Right. So, okay. So some exercise is there, lab exercise 2. This is for my Python programming course. So I'm just selecting this. So you can see how easy this is, right? So all the instructions it has got from this, but I should also showcase you this particular file, because then only you will be able to kind of appreciate or verify whatever it is generating, it's making sense or not, right? So let me showcase you this file also. So it's taking some time, but hopefully it will be open soon. So as you can see, it's very simple. There are 4 parts as per my knowledge, and some questions are there with respect to programming, and examples are also given, right? With respect to code, what is expected, that is mentioned in example. Okay. And then some challenge questions are there, right? So this is the assignment which I have generated. Okay, fine. Now, basically, it's asking what skills we are checking, based on which we are going to differentiate the performance of the students. So I can just mention the important skills with respect to Python programming. Um, okay. Of course, I will come to other tools. This can be done by any of the LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, right? So I will soon showcase you a nice framework using which you can generate same kind of outcome without using this classroom integration also. Don't worry. But from this, this is even if you are not able to access that, still it's useful, because it's showcasing you what all things you should write in your prompt in case if you want your outcome to be generated by ChatGPT. So even if you can't generate, or if you can't use this particular thing inside your classroom, you can see what all things I'm mentioning. I'm mentioning my target audience, what performance levels I want. I'm describing what is my kind of differentiator factors with respect to assessment. So if you write all these things along with, if you give your assignment in your prompt, then of course it will generate nice outcome equivalent to whatever we are going to see right now, right? So don't worry. I will soon demonstrate that part too. Okay, so meanwhile, let me just come back to this particular field over here. I can just say correctness of the code, right? Whatever code they are going to write, that must be correct. So I can say correctness of the code must be correct, and of course output must be correct. Output correctness, I can say, right? Or correct output, right? I'm just writing very vaguely. And then efficiency or time complexity is also one more aspect, right? For of course, this is not that much relevant to this particular assignment, but in general, whenever we are going to evaluate something with respect to Python programming, usually we check all these things, whether code is correct or not, outcome is coming or not, right? Time complexity is there or not. Of course, readability is proper or not. I'm just writing some fields. And then I'm just clicking on generate criteria. Okay. So it has generated this four criteria. Okay, documentation, code readability. So this documentation it has added, which is good addition, one can say, because it's more about how good your code is with respect to comments and other supporting material, so that anyone can read it properly. And now just let me click on this generate rubrics. Okay, so if I click on this, then it will be able to beautifully generate all the as you can see, exceeding, meeting, approaching, far from approaching. These are the four. So since I had given four levels of criteria, that performance levels, so therefore it's only four. If I give five, then accordingly this table will change, right? So you can see code correctness, just meeting means the program executes with minor errors that do not significantly impact the intended functionality. This is what expected if you are just meeting the criteria with respect to code correctness. Exceeding means you are doing exceptionally well, then program executes without errors and fulfills all specified requirements accurately, right? Far from approaching means the program contains significant errors or does not execute as intended, right? And same goes with respect to time complexity and other evaluation criteria. Right? So easily you can create this rubrics, and of course then you can add this to class and then share it with your students that these are the kind of criteria based on which the assessment will be done. Okay, so now I come to the common question, right? So I guess around 3 to 4, right? So someone has commented, I guess Dr. Mitali, and then three others have liked this particular comment. So that means at least four of you are struggling. You don't have access to this particular mechanism. So for you, what I'm going to do now, first I will explain you one particular framework very quickly, and then I will demonstrate how we can generate same outcome with respect to chat GPT or normal Gemini, right? Without using this classroom integration, right? Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do, I will skip a couple of points over here. Of course, we have seen this quiz thing, that rubrics we have anyway seen, right? So it's fine. Okay. Okay, I will come to this observations afterwards. Let me go to the framework which I'm going to talk about. Uh, that of course you can use any tool. It's not about just one can say Gemini or Chat GPT or Copilot. But what I'm going to do now is what should be the correct way, in some sense, to kind of talk with these tools, right? So I'm going to talk about it now. So just give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen from other device because I would prefer to write something. Uh, just a second. So in between, if you have any other questions, you can ask. Okay, hopefully my screen is visible. I can see it, but still, if someone can just give confirmation.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now I will talk about one particular framework very quickly, and then we'll see how we can generate similar outcome with respect to our one can say other LLMs, including ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, right? So the idea is very simple. Whatever we do, right, with respect to our life or with respect to any task, we first visualize, right? We usually visualize what we want, right? So that's the first thing we do. We first visualize that this is what I want, right? And then, depending upon what we want, we plan some action. So basically, the second step is plan some action, and then finally we perform that particular task. And many of the times we can't do this thing alone, right? Many of the times we need some guidance from some expert, right? And then we contact the corresponding person. So let's go through these steps one by one. So we are starting with this particular simple quote from Albert Einstein. It's very famous that, let's say, if I had just 1 hour to solve a problem, and let's say my life depended on it, then I would spend first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. So what it's trying to say is that what questions you are asking, that is extremely important. It's not about solution part. Solution will come afterwards, but your question must be correct. And this is very much important in the era of prompt engineering, because the idea is the model. Let's say my function is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT model, ChatGPT 5 is common for everyone. But the differentiating factor will be what input you are going to provide to your model, right? So depending upon your input, your output will change. The model is of course stochastic. So I'm not talking about, let's say, in general, let's say if I say write 10 sentences about Albert Einstein, then the response will be different with respect to my model, and of course with respect to Professor Maher's, let's say, ChatGPT model. But I'm talking about the differentiating factor with respect to how I'm prompting versus how Dr. Maher is prompting. So hopefully you are getting what I'm trying to say. That I'm not focusing on the differences with respect to stochastic nature of the model. So it may be possible that if I say write 10 sentences about Albert Einstein, I will get some 10 statements. But if Maher sir writes the same prompt, then though his 10 statements will be also similar to my 10 statements. That is for sure. Even though the statements may not be exactly same, but the nature or the overall tone of the statements will be quite similar. So the differentiating factor will be how I'm asking the query. So therefore, how I'm going to form my input, that will decide, right, kind of the quality of my output, right? So therefore, you have to first visualize what you would like to get in your final product or as your final outcome. That's the first rule with respect to prompting. If we go ahead, then the second rule is also that emphasizing on kind of asking the right questions, right? So asking the right question is as important as answering them, right? So if this is just showcasing that input is kind of extremely important with respect to output also, right? So if your input is correct, then you are going to get very high quality of output with respect to prompting for sure. And the third and the most important part is that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions and whom you ask them to. So this is where most of the times educators and others fail, because most of the times what we do, we use our chat GPT or Gemini as nothing but uh, Google search, right? So these two things are different. ChatGPT prompting is not equal to Google search, right? In Google search, we just say that we want this, and then we get some kind of one can say response. But in the case of prompting, that is not we are kind of this is not how one should use with respect to LLM models, including ChatGPT or Gemini, because these two things are kind of extremely different, because this is generative AI. We are going to generate something. So whenever we are going to generate something, so you must think who is the right person to ask this particular question. So let's say suddenly I have some issues with my health, then whom should I ask? Should I ask to to my fellow colleague who is doctor but not doctor of let's say medicine, just doctor of let's say computer science? Then he or she won't be able to guide me because my issue is different. So for my particular problem, a person with expertise with respect to medical science, let's say MBBS or MD degree holder, that with some experience, of course, that person is the correct person to ask this particular question or to resolve my issue. So the idea is your model, right? You can maybe you can imagine like this, that entire city of your whatever your nearest city is. Let's say entire city of Mumbai is one big library, okay? Or maybe the entire city of Jaipur is one big library. And library contains a lot of books, of course, and lot of sections, okay? There can be millions of sections. Imagine this is very big library, so that there will be millions of sections in this particular library. And if you don't mention, and imagine for each section there is one dedicated person who has read all the books of that particular section, and he possesses the knowledge of that particular section extremely. Imagine that he is the Nobel Prize winner of that particular domain, right? And now you have two options, right? Let's say this particular domain I am interested in. Let's say this particular domain is, let's say, AI in education. Okay. And I have some queries with respect to this domain. And now there is one more person who is sitting over here. This particular person is kind of librarian. Okay. And now, if I have some queries with respect to AI in education, whom should I ask? This particular librarian X, Alex, or should I ask to this particular expert who has read all the books of AI in education? Let me call this particular person expert in AI, let's say EAI. Whom should I ask this particular query? To EAI, imagine that both of them are freely available. I don't need to pay anything to any of them, right? So I have two options. Either I can ask this particular question to librarian who has generic knowledge of all the sections, right? Librarian is also extremely intelligent, but you can imagine he is trying to read all these books versus someone is focused only on this particular subsection. So who will possess more knowledge? Of course, you will go to this EAI person because he or she has read all the books of this particular domain, right? So we should always go for expert. But so that means before writing your actual query in your uh, prompt box, you must highlight whom you are asking this particular query. Because imagine now this is equivalent of knowledge base of your chat GPT. So chat GPT is trained on extensive data, right? Terabytes of data has been fed to chat GPT. But so that means it can take millions of personalities. But if you don't give this particular context, then the response will be generic, right? So now let me try to demonstrate this to you so that you will appreciate the power of just providing context, right? So then you will be able to kind of relate with this even more. So let me share my screen one more time. Okay. And this time I will go directly to uh, just a second. I will go, just let me. Okay, okay, fine. Anyways, I'm connected with this device, so it's fine. Someone can help me whether he or she can see my screen. Hopefully, it's visible. Can anyone confirm quickly?
It's visible, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So now, what I'm going to do now, I will ask the same question, but in the first case, I won't use any. I will do like normal Google search, and then we will see the response, and then I will give some context, and then we will see the response. So as you can see, this is a normal one. My blood pressure is this, and suggest me something, and then it has given me this response. This is not wrong. Like this is sensible, but if you compare this response with the second response, then you will be able to see the difference. Here, the response length is short, concise. In the second case, the response length is more, as you can see, and it's giving more insights. Daily routine, what changes should I do? With respect to diet, what changes one should do? With respect to weight and exercise, what one should do? Sleep management, follow up, right? When to seek medical help, right? And final advice. So of course, all of you will agree that second outcome is better. But you see what change I have made with respect to first prompt and second prompt. So you can see over here, assume a role of cardiologist having experience of 25 plus years. And then I'm starting with my query. Okay. So just by adding this context, you can see that my response has been changed significantly, right? So you can quickly do this with respect to any of the topic, right? So for example, if I can just showcase you this, that let's say whatever topic you pick, let's say in computer science, we have this BFS, breadth first search. If I just say, okay, so maybe what I should do, I should use some different account. But anyways, it's fine. Still in this account also, you will be able to see the differentiation. So if I just say explain, you can do this exercise. I am not doing this because I would like to cover a lot of things. So just compare. If you just write this, explain BFS, what you are getting. And in the second case, you say assume a role of theoretical computer scientist. So this is the context which we are giving. Having experience of, let's say, more than 20 years, right? Now I'm saying explain BFS in simple, easy to follow language. So that you can guess in the second prompt, right? In the second highlighted prompt, the response will be significantly better as compared to the first prompt, right? So chat GPT, the first whole letter itself is suggesting it's more about interaction. It's not one time thing, right? So you whatever response has been generated, let's say if you are not happy with it, then you must reiterate. But that practice usually we don't have, right? We just go through, we continue with whatever comes in the very first time, just like the first window in the Google search. But that's not the correct way of utilizing the power of ChatGPT. So that's the first lesson. So if I go through this entire framework, right? So if I go ahead, then this particular framework is called Create Framework. There are many other frameworks, but what I'm going to cover in this session is it's called Create Framework, and I'm using this since last 1.5 years or 2 years. So, and I feel that this is one of the best framework to follow. And it's very easy to remember also because of this short word, right? So, and one can say create is a very good word, which one can easily remember. So first, we have already seen C stands for character. R stands for request. I don't need to explain about request because you know what you want with respect to ChatGPT. That's why you are there. So request is whatever you want. One more thing which we don't do usually is we don't provide enough examples. If you give examples, then model will learn. Model will kind of give will be able to provide better responses. So it's better to provide examples whenever possible. So I will soon take one example, then you will be able to appreciate this and relate with this even more. Some adjustments will be required. Type of output is also equally important. Sometimes, let's say in the case of rubrics, we would like to have our answer in terms of table, but we may get some kind of essay. So we have to explicitly mention that please provide the response in terms of table, not in terms of, one can say, essay, right? Or not in terms of one line, right? So those things you have to kind of explicitly mention whenever we talk about this thing, right? Okay. Uh, of course, Dr. Pooja, of course, it matters because you feel that whatever topic you have mentioned, that's kind of one can say. It may be the case that since your topic is kind of very, one can say, a lot of material is available on that particular topic, and that's why you feel that input does not matter. But I will soon showcase you that how it matters because it's not just about uh, you one can say let me give you some examples, then only you will be able to appreciate. It's better to showcase you rather than convincing you, okay? And then of course there are extras, okay? So let me okay, so let me just ask you this, let me just showcase you one kind of one interaction of mine, and then you will be able to kind of convince that this is not possible with simple prompting for sure. Okay. So if I go to this, So it's about, let's say you would like to generate, you are alone at your home, let's assume, and you would like to generate a nice recipe with the help of Chat GPT. Okay. And the recipe must be of flavor Indian. Of course, we are from India, so we would like to generate something unique, which is based on India. But the one can say the outcome must follow certain characteristics, right? It must have some international flavor into it, right? So let me just showcase you the outcome, and then I'm pretty much sure that irrespective of what prompt mechanism you are following, if you don't give enough context, right? If you don't follow any kind of prompt mechanism, then you won't be able to get this kind of response for sure. You just go to this particular response, right? Right? This is the final dish which is recommended by the model, right? So you first see the outcome format. You don't get this kind of format like only 100-word description, then nice table which will give me description about each and every item and what should be the quantity of each and every item, and then step-by-step method, as you can see, right? And then this is the end, right? So, and all the things are very much aligned. This kind of outcome is never possible if you don't follow prompt mechanism. This is just in terms of I'm talking about the template of the outcome. Forget about the actual quality of the outcome, right? So let me go through the process. As you can see, first we are giving the context over here. As you can see, you are an award-winning Indian chef with 20 plus years of experience. You craft vibrant dishes that celebrate regional Indian flavor while embarrassing, one can say, while involving global techniques. And here again, we are seeing that take inspiration from this famous Indian chefs, right? And we are also mentioning that please ensure that you are following metric measurements in your outcome. So if you don't give this instruction, even I should give you this counter example of that blood pressure thing. There I didn't give any context, and you could easily see the difference between first case and the second case where I mentioned that you are an expert cardiologist, and there was a significant difference, right? So as you can see, uh, like of course I will come to the technical topic for sure. Okay, so this is just to demonstrate you generic way, right? How one should write this particular prompt in with the help of create framework, and soon I will demonstrate this with respect to technical topic too, don't worry. Okay, and then why we are this is just I can give you example, but before that you should be able to relate with this particular framework fully. So then you won't be able to understand the framework, and then you won't get what you want. So therefore, I'm spending slightly more time over here with respect to this particular example. So why select only the ingredients you need? Because if I don't write this is called adjustment. If I don't write this, then AI may assume that all the ingredients are important. And then whatever is kind of being prepared, it may not be drinkable or eatable. So therefore, it's important to mention everything properly, right? So that is about adjustment. And then there is one T. T stands for type of output. So here I have mentioned that this is the type of output I want, right? Clear title, single paragraph explaining about describing the dish, complete ingredient list with quantities, and then step-by-step instruction to in English, plain English, of course, so that you can follow it, right? So, of course, one can say this is quite kind of painful, but if you don't write like this, then you won't get quality outcome like this. So, I have given this kind of, one can say, ingredients which are usually available in Indian household. And then if you see the kind of outcome, then you can see that it's actually making sense, right? Okay, fine. With respect to, okay, so now I will take a question from the chat box. So kindly explain create framework using any science related topic if possible, plant growth. So okay, so my question is, Dr. Sonia, do you want me to kind of create let's say you want to explain this particular plant growth thing to your students, right? That is your query, right? How we can follow the create framework to generate response like that. I assume that that is your objective, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So then what should I do? So, okay. So let's say I would like to explain this to my students. Okay. Plant growth. Right? Okay. Fine. This is the topic. So I must first ask this, who is the best person to explain this particular topic to my students, right? Dr. Sonia, can you tell me who is biologist, I guess, right? Or plant biologist, one can say, let's say. So I can just start with this. If you remember the create framework, then first C stands for nothing but character. So I will start with this. Assume, okay, so let me try to zoom slightly so that you can read properly whatever I am writing. So create framework we are going to follow. C stands for character. So character is important with respect to create framework also. So I will start with this, that assume a role of an expert plant biologist having field experience, field as well as teaching experience of more than 20 years, right? So this is the first C. The correct we have identified that who is the kind of person the best for this particular query. Then R is request. So I want detailed uh, explanation about uh, plant growth, right? Plant growth. Uh, okay, so that's what I want. Ensure you, so type of output I'm talking about now. Ensure you summarize the entire topic in one table along with one sentence summary. So let's say if someone want to just say one sentence about this, then what he or she should say. So this is what I want with respect to type of outcome, right? And then I can give some examples also. Take inspiration from one can say some famous people, a person, if you know about from this particular domain, then we can just mention some educator or someone. I am just going with some generic educators from the same domain. Okay, so this is what I have given with respect to examples. Some adjustments are not needed for this particular kind of query, but I can have one more thing. I can make this interesting to my students. So I can say, my students love, let's say, chess. Okay, this is their hobby, chess, and they also love web shows. Let's say they like Squid Games and web shows including Squid Games. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is my prompt. So you have to give as much context as possible, right? So so it's starting with normal explanation, right? As you can see, right? Then key concepts. What are the key concepts? And you can see how nicely it's relating opening moves in chess with the concepts of growth in plants, right? And mid game versus end game. So all these things are kind of associated with chess, and it has nicely kind of integrated it, or one can say mapped it with the idea of your plant growth. This is a summary table, right, which you can again copy it and share it with your student, and it's also giving both the analogies, right? Chess as well as Squid Games, right? You can see, and then one sentence summary if you would like to kind of explaining the same stuff with respect to just one sentence. So this is the power of good prompt mechanism. As you can see, this is how you can make things interesting. It's not just about one can say mainly whenever you would like to teach a particular topic, ideally you should do is before the class you should generate as many metaphors as possible aligned with your students so that students can easily understand the topic. So now let me try the same prompt, but this time I'm not giving the student interest, let's say. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will copy, or maybe I can just directly edit from over here. I'm not giving this information. Then, of course, the response will be correct, but it will be generic. But still, it will be of use because now we are just explaining this particular topic formally without considering the kind of one can say what my students interest is. And you can do even more, kind of, one can say, more with respect to this, but this type of template of create. So ideally what you should do whenever you are teaching any particular topic, before teaching that particular topic, let's say x plus 1, you have already taught all the topics from, let's say, 1 to x. So you can also mention that my students already know all these things, and then it will be very nicely going to kind of relate what is known to what is unknown, and that too very intelligently and interestingly, so that students will be able to relate or understand the new topic very quickly, right? So that's the kind of main, one can say, motivation or idea, right? Okay, so these are the two things which I recommend to you, that follow the create framework, of course, and along with create framework, also try to include what your students know, what they don't know. If you include these things in your prompt, then the responses will be highly personalized. And then, as a teacher, you can't generate, let's say, 80, or let's say, you can generate only one or two examples in the classroom, right? But this AI can generate, right, millions of examples, and that too highly personalized, right? Do we have to export? Do we have export? Okay, so here we don't have export directly, but you can of course copy this, right? There is an option of copy. If you give the same prompt to Gemini, let's compare this. Let's say I give the same prompt. Now it's not like that. You can use just this. You can of course use this Gemini also. So let me go to this. Let's say new chat. Okay, and let's say I'm just pasting that whatever prompt we had given there. Let's say I'm giving over here, and here there are a couple of more options with respect to export. So therefore, I'm doing this exercise. Okay, so of course it's starting with this. These explanations are there, but I feel that it's also trying to generate image in between, which is good for better explanation, right? So you can see the response is there, right? Now you can see, if I talk about this button, so you can see there is one more option of draft in Gmail. So this is a nice option in case if you want this personalized response to someone. So if you just click on this, then automatically the entire response will be captured in the email, and then you will be able to kind of share that particular email to someone, right? Your target audience, whoever he or she is, right? Or your set of students, right? So that is there, right? So of course, new email is created. If I click on this, then I'll be able to go there, but I'm not wasting time over there. But one more option is, of course, you can export to docs. So that option is also there. So these two additional options you get in the case of Gemini, right? So that's the primary difference. And of course, the response is more or less similar, right? Okay, fine. And it didn't generate image, right? It was trying to kind of maybe formats the response, right? So that is that. Okay, fine. Okay, any other question up to this point? Generate a correct image. Okay, of course, I can showcase that prompt also, how to generate image. But since we are talking about generation, I feel you will be very happy to know about tool which can generate, one can say, very easily. Okay, sorry, not this one. This is not required. Which can generate very easily, one can say, nothing but PPTs. So let me try to showcase that, because I have around 30 minutes more. So let me talk about something else which is also kind of equally useful in some of the use cases, not if not every time. So what I'm going to do, maybe I can go to some other account because okay, so maybe I can go to this account, and I will also share the link of this. So the link is called Gamma AI. Okay, so I will just go to this particular link. So Gamma, let me just showcase, share this particular link with you very soon. Just give me a minute. So again, focus is on generation of PPT, how AI can help us in generation of slides. So that's what we are seeing. Of course, we can use ChatGPT and Gemini also, but I'm just going with this Gamma. Just give me a minute. In between, I can showcase you some other prompts too. If I just go to uh, this. Okay, meanwhile, I can also showcase you some interesting use case. Just a second. Okay, yes. Okay, meanwhile, okay, so let me see if this is opened or not now. Continue with Google. Okay, otherwise I can showcase from over here also. Most likely it will open here also. Let me try to close some of the kind of tabs which are not useful now. Okay, here's some messages there. Can we generate videos for explanation purpose using any of the AI tools? Of course, yeah. Yes, I will come to this question very soon. Just try to uh, just give me. Okay, so why it's taking too much time? Okay, anyways, let me close this. Let me try to open this from somewhere else. Okay. Okay. Now it's asking for sign in. Let's see. Okay. Continue. Let's see. Hopefully it should be able to open. I can directly, okay, so maybe I can solve the query of, uh, okay, it's taking some time. It's okay, it's okay. I will come to this Gamma in a while. Meanwhile, I'm answering query of Dr. Sonia straight away. So the query is how can we generate some videos for our students based on some topics. So the answer is Notebook LM. So what I'm going to do now, either I can give my slides to this particular platform, or I can just discover some sources. So this is kind of tool which can take up to 50 different resources, and resources can be anything. It can be Google Docs, Google Slides, YouTube videos, or websites, or some text which you have copied, or even some audio file or PDF, right? So, or you can even give the entire book also to this particular platform. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click on this discover sources, and here I'm going to uh, just type this particular topic: cell cycle or the mechanisms like cell cycles or reaction, right? So that's a topic, right? So I will just say this, and then it will automatically search or discover sources associated with this particular topic. Let's say I pick all these resources. Those are Wikipedia and some chapters from some standards, right? And whatever things are publicly available with respect to this topic, they are given over here. So this is just for demo purpose. So I'm just importing them. But ideally, you should select your resources very nicely, properly, right? They must be aligned with your what you are going to teach, Because if your the kind of resources are not authenticated, then the responses won't be with respect to this particular tool. Again, this is a free tool, so you can use this. So here you can straight away see there are four different options, and then there is one option of video overview. So here I can customize it. I should not directly click on generation. I can also change the language, right? For example, my students are not good with English. They are good with, let's say, Hindi, right? As per my knowledge, it supports Hindi too, right? So let me try to go through it. Uh, but in any case, for now, I'm going with English. It's fine. So I will say that explain like you are explaining to uh, class 10 students. Okay. They don't know anything about this topic. Um, give explanation. Okay. Give detailed explanation whenever possible. Okay. Okay, some instructions I have given just to ensure that it's aligned with my target audience. And then I clicked on this generating video overview button. So it's going to generate video, and this will take, I guess, a couple of minutes for sure, or maybe more than that, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, depending upon what sources are or how many sources we have uploaded. We can also generate podcast audio overview. So if I click on that button, then it will start generate. One more interesting stuff is mind map. So mind map is kind of one tree which will kind of subdivide this particular topic into number of subtopics and then subtopics, so that you get the overall idea about this particular topic, and then you can explore that what subtopics are kind of you are going to cover, and you can know more about them by double clicking on them. So soon I will showcase all this to you. Meanwhile, let me try to generate all other things, including briefing document, study guide, FAQ, and even timeline, right? So all these things we are going to see. So this is also a very nice tool for generation of kind of resources with respect to lecture material or study guide or FAQ to your students. So you can see your broad topic is this, right? Now, unfortunately, I am not the right person to kind of explain all this to you, but let me try to explain the functionality which this particular tool is providing. So let's say I'm interested in cell cycle, and I don't know, unfortunately, anything about this particular subtopic, which is talking about cell cycle checkpoints, let's say. So what I will do, I will just double click on this, and then automatically in the middle window, you can see that the corresponding query has been generated, and based on the material, what this explanation is, that is given to me directly straight away. So I can go through this particular explanation if my understanding is not good with respect to this cell cycle topic or subtopic, right? And in cell cycle is not the end. Inside cell cycle also, there are a number of subtopics. So let's say I would like to know more about this particular subtopic. I don't know it. So I can double click on it. So then depending upon that particular topic, the what sources are telling, that will come to me, and then I will be able to read it and understand it even more, right? So you can see how powerful this mind map is. And of course, I can click on those buttons for kind of opening it fully or closing it fully, right? Depending upon what I want. You can see this other documents are also ready, like study guide. Study guide is a nice document, a comprehensive guide if someone wants to know about this particular topic. So you can give this guide to your students, that if material is yours, or maybe if you feel that whatever is generated is authenticated, means it's some correct, you can share this with your students. It will give everything, right? Whatever is discussed in all the this material, summary of it in very easy to understand language in some sense, right? So that is comprehensive guide. After the guide, it's also asking some questions along with correct answers. So it's a very comprehensive material. It's also giving information or definition about key terms, right? So if someone is not familiar with these terms, like what this cell cycle checkpoints, then he or she can go to this particular comprehensive guide and understand it, right? So that's how it's, and of course you can copy this and share it with your students. So those options are anyway there. Okay. So that is about that study guide. But I feel as compared to study guide, the more powerful document is briefing document, because briefing document is kind of one can say a mini book chapter. So you can see it's more sensible. It's starting with executive summary, then it's giving subsections, what is going to happen in the first iteration in some sense, then second, then third, right? So like that. So this is more intuitive in some sense to with respect to reading as compared to study guide. Because study guide, it gives everything, but it's not in one gets a logical sequence. But I guess hopefully, I guess Dr. Sonia will agree to me that that uh, okay, of course we'll come to gamma, but for now we are talking about uh, no, this resources are not already available on this platform. So you can take any of the resources. You can have screenshots of your slides. You can have PDF of your slides. You can have videos of someone from YouTube. Right, all the videos which are having kind of one can say subtitles or transcript, they can be added as a source with respect to this particular tool. Right, so endless resources are there. Right, you can pick any one of them, right? Fine. So you can see that this is very logical, and Dr. Sonia is also agree with me that this is more logical in with respect to flow. And soon it will also kind of complete generation of audio as well as video, and then I will come back to this to demonstrate that how it looks. And of course, I guess with respect to audio, we have this languages available, Hindi as well as Gujarati. I guess in video still they are allowing with English only because it's a relatively new feature as compared to audio. All right, audio is older feature, and of course the middle screen, as you can see, this is kind of like your normal LLM, right? You can ask questions, it will generate responses, but the response it won't hallucinate because the responses will be based on the material which we have provided, right? So I have since the time was limited, I clicked on this discover button. But ideally, you can upload right your own videos or audios, whatever you have. If your video is there on your platform. So what I'm going to do now, I will stop my screen share and share it again, because then only you will be able to hear the audio of what is coming, and then we'll be able to kind of yes, Notebook LM is free, right? Notebook LM is free. So I will also share the link of it. Don't worry. But I'm resharing my screen with audio enable option so that you can kind of hear what is generated with respect to audio, right? Notebook LM. So let me click on this share, and this is also, let me click on this couple of buttons. Okay. Okay, so hopefully my screen is again, you can see it. And now I'm going to play this particular audio. Okay, so let's listen to it.
You're sitting there maybe listening to this deep dive, grabbing a coffee perhaps, or just going about your day.
Yeah.
But have you ever stopped to think what the billions, literally billions, of cells inside you are doing right now? Are they refueling? Are they multiplying?
It's this constant, incredible, invisible ballet happening inside us every single second.
It really is. And it underpins everything.
Yeah.
Thinking, moving.
Absolutely, and we rarely even notice it's happening. It's quite remarkable.
So today, we're pulling back the curtain a bit on two fundamental pillars of that whole cellular ballet.
Right.
How cells generate and use energy, specifically ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and how they manage their reproduction. You know, the cell.
Not only this, you can also kind of download this and share it with your students if you want, right? So those options are anyway there. And not only that, the advanced option is which is kind of underrated. Not a lot of people are using it. It's that you can also stop this podcast in between and ask questions. So that's what I'm going to do now. So hopefully you will be able to kind of appreciate it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me play it,
You're
and
sitting
in
there
between
maybe
I will
listening
join.
to this deep dive, grabbing a coffee perhaps, or just going about your day.
Yeah.
But have you ever stopped to
Oh, hey there. What's up?
Sorry for interrupting in between, but I am from computer science domain, and can you tell me what are the implications of knowing this biology of cell with respect to computer science? How it will be helpful to me? Okay. So I guess it somehow I didn't use the correct microphone, that therefore it didn't get. So let me try to ask one more time now. So what I'm going to do now, let me just close this one more time, and I will open it in interactive mode, right? So this time it should work properly. So let me play this one more time.
You're sitting there maybe listening to this deep dive, grabbing a coffee perhaps, or just going about your day.
Yeah.
But oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
So my question is, I am from computer science domain, and how knowing this tech cells biology will be helpful to me? Can you explain?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. And actually, it ties in perfectly with why we're so excited about this topic.
Absolutely. It's not just academic, right? Understanding how your cells work at this fundamental level can really shift your perspective.
Think about it this way. Knowing how your cells generate energy and how they decide to grow and divide directly relates to your own personal energy levels every day.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about feeling energetic, about how your body heals, even how it defends itself against illness.
It's all rooted in this cellular ballet we're talking about. For example, when we discuss ATP, the energy currency.
That's the fuel for everything you do, every thought, every movement, every heartbeat.
So understanding what impacts ATP production, like the nutrients you consume, can give you insights into your own vitality.
And when we delve into the cell cycle, that's the process behind, oh, go for it.
How all this are related to our heart? What impact this biology can have on heart?
Oh, that's a brilliant follow-up and so relevant.
Exactly. The heart is actually a fantastic example of just how critical this cellular ballet is.
Think about it. Your heart is constantly beating, right? Pumping blood nonstop.
That takes a tremendous amount of energy. Your heart muscle cells are incredibly busy.
So their ATP production, that energy currency we mentioned, is absolutely vital.
If the cells in your heart can't produce enough ATP efficiently,
So hopefully you appreciate, right, how well it's responding with even with respect to my queries, and it's a very nice way of expanding your knowledge in some sense. And now the video is also ready, so I can just play it. Hopefully my screen is visible properly now. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Okay. Thank you. It's taking slightly more time for loading, but soon we'll be able to see it. Because this, I guess it's relatively long in terms of duration. So therefore, it's taking
Excuse me,
some
sir.
time.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a question?
Sure, you go on.
Yeah. So actually, I have also earlier used Notebook LM, but I
Hmm.
was under the impression that we have to add sources and then it can generate, it can provide answers
Yes,
to
of
queries.
course.
So,
This discover feature is relatively new, and so in discover, if you write your topic, then it will automatically search the corresponding uh, resources, relevant resources for the topic. So that is new thing. So
okay.
of course we have added this resources over here also, but it
Mhm.
was with the help of this discover thing, which is added in this platform relatively
Right.
recently. Right. So
So
that is it.
these features are there in the free version, the
Yes,
creating
yes.
everything.
All of this, everything is available in free version.
Okay. And we can also create diagrams and mind maps using whatever resources are. we have uploaded, as well as anything that we use from the
Right,
Discover
right.
feature.
Of course, of course, of course. For diagrams, I can quickly showcase you one more tool. Meanwhile, this is taking slightly more time, so maybe I can just close this and open it one more time, or maybe I can just download it. But it's ready, as you can see, and it's fine. Means it's a working thing. But maybe I opened a lot of things. That's why it's okay. So finally, it's working. So
All
hopefully,
right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about one of the most incredible missions in all of biology. It's a high stakes operation that every single one of your cells is programmed to carry out. It's their mission to divide and conquer. I mean, really think about it for a second. You get a cut, and a few days later, it's just gone. Or how did you go from being a little kid to the size you are today? It all seems kind of like magic, right? But it's not. It's a beautifully organized process happening inside you all the time. The secret to all of this is something called cell division. It's how we grow, how we heal, and how life itself continues. It is a non-stop microscopic process happening in your body right this very second. But before a cell can pull off this amazing mission, it has to get ready. And just like any hero gearing up for a big quest, the very first thing our cell needs is fuel. And we're not talking about just any fuel. We're talking about a very special, supercharged energy source that powers literally everything a cell has to do. That fuel is a molecule called ATP. The long name is adenosine triphosphate, but you can just think of ATP as the cell's
okay, so hopefully you can appreciate that how good the responses are with respect to even video. So I have, I guess, around 4 more minutes. So I will quickly showcase you one more tool. And the only thing I would like to highlight over here is I did very wrongly, right? I just click on discover button and whatever source came, I just imported them. But ideally, you should select your sources very precisely, right? Whatever you are teaching, if you are uploading them, then generation will be also aligned with those things. So then it will be more kind of personalized. Your tone will be kind of captured in it, right? Okay, fine. So I will talk about one more tool very quickly, which is called napkin. So since I could see that one of the query was with respect to how to generate diagrams, right? So for that, I am explaining this napkin AI. Um, so what I'm going to do now, I will take some text from somewhere, and the napkin AI will convert the text into nothing but diagram. That's how it works. So again, it's a free tool. I am just sharing its link in the chat box too, so that you can use it. It will take some time in opening up. So it's okay, miss. But meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask. So simultaneously, I can also answer them by the time this opens.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I
Yes.
have a question regarding मैंने ना I tried generating images from Gemini as well as ChatGPT, Sira or Sora that creates images and videos as well.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
for like teaching purposes or for like scientific purposes, I am giving all the terms, technical terms or the things I want to generate. But still it
Mhm.
causes some of the issues. That's why I was asking for how to generate correctly. So how to give a prompt correctly so it generates the image that I want without any issues or without any inaccuracies in it.
Okay. So now there are a couple of aspects to this particular question. The first aspect is it's not about prompt. With respect to images, unfortunately, this generative AI is still in a development phase. So many times it kind of fails in image generation. So that's why I'm talking about this napkin.ai. So this is as compared to others, this provides significantly better outcome, and hopefully I will be able to demonstrate this very soon, right? Once I complete this login, then we'll see that how nicely it's going to generate images and that to correct. For scientific images, what I recommend that you should go with .io, and you can take some ideas from AI, right? LLMs, that what should be, how your image should look like. But the actual creation of the image must be done by you. That is my own kind of recommendation, because AI generated images kind of won't be considered. Like for teaching purpose, maybe it's fine, right? We can share it with our students and for enhancement of their learning. But if we talk about publication, then it's not a good practice to go for those kind of generated images. Of course, this is my personal point of view. But there are some other tools also. So what I will do, I will try to identify a couple of them and share it with you afterwards. Of course, I will share my LinkedIn ID with you all, so you can connect with me and ask queries if you have any afterwards too, right? Because we have limited time, so it may be the case that you couldn't come up with the correct question, and or maybe I couldn't answer, so we can
No, sir, you're correct in
talk about it.
answering that. It was just my issue. I thought I was giving wrong prompt, so that images I have to send students about something, or flowcharts or some
That
visuals, so that
that
was not correct. Yes, sir.
No, no,
Okay,
no,
sir.
no, no,
Thank
no,
you.
no, no. That is again. It's like, as you can see, it works like this. As you can see, whatever we have selected, one kind of blue circle will come, and if we click on it, so let me try to sign in. I'm not sure why it's taking this much time, but usually it takes slightly more time in sign in. But afterwards, it's It works very fine. Or maybe I can just switch the browser. Maybe if I go to somewhere else, then it should work. Let me try with something else. Okay, any other question meanwhile?
Good evening, sir.
Good
Sir,
evening. Yes.
I had this query that I have used Gamma AI and Slides.ai also for the presentations, but it is limited to
Hmm.
the free version is limited. I can make only like one or two presentations according to the coins that I receive. So, is there any good platform of AI that can make good presentations from the content that I have already?
Uh, Again, means there are a couple of ways. Like some people use multiple accounts. That's the first kind of one can say trick. Apart from that, of course, means what you can do is you can use this Chat GPT and Gemini, not for kind of one can say direct generation, but maybe you can get some outline and then you can enhance that particular outline formally in your slides. So that those things you can do. But as of now, there are no, of course, there is one recent development with respect to, you can check Google Slides and check for integration with Gemini in Google Slide. That is possible. So then with one prompt, you will be able to generate slides, and that too of high quality as per my knowledge. So that you can try Gemini's along with Google Slides, because again the integration, just like Classroom, in Classroom they've integrated nicely. Similar kind of integration is there with respect to Google Slides also. So you can try that particular integration, whether it's working or not. You can check. I know about it. I haven't used it properly so far, so but it's there for sure. So currently, maybe the site is down, this napkin.ai, so therefore I'm not able to showcase you. But you can check, right? So it's very easy, and basically, I can check if some demo is there on YouTube. But that anyway, you can also check. So I have given the link of this napkin.ai, so you can try this afterwards, so that it's a nice tool, and you should be able to. Okay, so finally, some unexpected issue is there, so it's not working. So I won't waste time on this. Instead of that, I will prefer to answer uh, queries, right? So if you're ready. And these are my contact details. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can also send me an email. And I also run this YouTube channel, right? So those are the details associated with me. Okay, yes, I will just check the chat box for query. Okay, thank you so much. That I am happy that you are attending it nicely and asking the relevant and important questions.
Thank you, sir, for this
Uh,
wonderful session. Dear
uh-huh.
participant,
Yeah.
if you have any question, you can unmute your mic.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Dr. Reena, and I just want to know that you just told us that we can create many accounts, and using those, we can create many presentations.
Mm-hmm.
Still, there is no such tool that that we can create proper presentations. As just we saw your demonstration through which we understood that we can have even voice explanations, but
Mm-hmm.
why there is no such tool that we can have multiple presentations creating through one account?
So again, like presentations are not easy. Like if you see, then there are a lot of aspects associated with it. The first aspect is usually in presentations we also put images, right? And then somehow the AI models are failing in identifying what is the width of the page and what is the length of the page. So sometimes they generate, but they kind of fill very one can say half of the page only, even though the content is proper, but they are not good with kind of imagining what will happen with respect to font size and what should be the image placement. Right, so there is a trick. What you can do instead of directly generating PPTs, you can go for latex code generation. They are good with latex. Right, so you can have latex code and then convert that. Of course, you can use Overleaf and other platforms using which you can convert it into PPT. Right? So that is one trick one can use. But the issue, as I mentioned, a lot of issues. First is image generation. Second is placement. Third is, since all these models work based on tokens, they don't work kind of work based on, one can say, you can check my YouTube videos also for that. That they don't, so they understand the language of tokens. They don't understand language of words or sentences. So therefore, they can't predict how much width will be required or how much height will be required for this much tokens. So that's why they are kind of failing as of now. But of course, the models are all the models are improving. So in hopefully in very near time we will be able to see some advancements with respect to this also. But of course, you should try this also. Like I mentioned, Google Slides along with Gemini, and it should provide some better outcome for sure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And before concluding the session, I would request to all the participants, please open your webcam so that we can have nice photograph, group photograph. Please open your webcam. All the participants, please. Thanks to all. On the behalf of the organizing team, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Mahipal Jadeja for today's insightful session on AI assisted content creation. The way you demonstrate the use of tools like Google Classroom and ChatGPT in teaching and research has truly opened a new perspective for us. We are grateful for the clarity, practical examples, and enthusiasm you brought into the discussion. Special thanks all the participants for their active enrollment, which made the session even more engaging. We look forward to applying this learning in our classroom and research journey. Thank you to all. And please don't leave the meeting. To all the participants, you need to submit the feedback form of the today's session. I am sharing in the chat box. Please give me 1 minute. You can check the feedback form in the chat box. Thank you, sir, and thank you to all.
Thank you, sir.
There are some more tools like AI PPT to generate the PPT, and also we can generate by using ChatGPT along with the Copilot.
Yes,
So
yes,
this
that is also there.
yeah, this also we can use to generate the presentation, and we can save a lot of time. And also to make more beautiful presentations, there are like Canva, but with the help of napkin, we can generate infographic. By using all these, we can have more beautiful presentations. But the need how we can apply, and we have to start to use AI tools or generative AI tools in our academia, and we can save a lot of time and make our classroom more interactive and engaging. So, sir, your session is really very wonderful, and a lot of things we learn which we can apply in the teaching. And I hope that all the participants are really very happy who are very beginner, and most of the participants who are attending the session are very new on this new technology. And I hope that all the participants will use all these. And still, if you have any kind of the challenge or any problem, we have the links or the details of our resource person. You can directly contact him, and I'm sure he will surely help you in near future whenever you will contact him. Sir, please
Sure, of
share
course.
share
Yes,
your
so if they can just search Mahipal Jadeja or maybe Mahipal 12 on LinkedIn, then they will be able to find me very easily. So I've shared it. So it's not link, but actually just address,
yes.
right? So
Thank
and
you,
thank
sir.
you so
Thank
much
you.
for organizing FDP on this important domain, and thank you for inviting. And all the very best to all the participants. So what is my recommendation is for any of the tasks, think like this: can we apply AI into this? But use it for enhancement, not for replacement. So don't think like that we are going to just utilize whatever is being generated. Verify it and try to include your own ideas into the also during the generation process and even after generation. So those are my recommendations. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, dear participant, the link is available in the chat box. Please submit the feedback form. And after that, you can leave the meeting.